Okay, so I spent the last 10 minutes just talking about all the things I thought were wrong with the movie. And now I want to talk about the things that I really, really enjoyed. So let's just get to it. Okay, so I absolutely love the shots of Brooklyn and the city because I was born in Brooklyn and seeing it filmed and represented so beautifully was really, really fantastic. And it was so touching, so I loved it. Oh my god, Jocelyn was so badass in that fight scene. It was incredible. I mean, I actually really liked this change because in the book, we don't get to see what happened when she was attacked. We just saw pretty much the aftermath. So seeing her get attacked and then take that potion, so great. So great. So nice job. The scene at Pandemonium, I love that. It was exactly how I pictured it in my head, and I love that they shot it in all that blue. It was fantastic. The one thing I really appreciated with this movie is that Clary was she was much more of a stronger female lead than Bella Swan was. You know, Clary had her annoying moments, but she took charge, she took action, and she knew what she had to do. And Bella just kind of sat around and was passive and didn't really do much of anything for like a million movies. So I really liked this part of the movie just because I was so sick of seeing the females just sit around and do nothing while the guys had all the fun. So I really enjoyed the demon CGI in this movie, which, to be honest, when I knew they were making this movie, I was a little concerned because this would have been so easy to get wrong and just ruin it. But they actually did a really good job, especially in that scene where that Rottweiler is like splitting apart at the head and it turns into like that octopus thing. It was so weird, but it was awesome, and it was, oh my god, it was now creepy. I know there was a lot of backlash when Jamie was cast as Jace, but I have to say I was really happy with the casting. He kind of was exactly who I pictured Jace to look like, and I loved him, and I was behind the casting. The only problem I had with him was the fact that he was a little too skinny for my taste, and I think he needs to gain like another 15-20 pounds before the next movie starts filming because it just didn't look healthy, and the whole time I was watching I just wanted to throw cake and pie at him because he just looked so hungry. Now, like I said before, the action scenes were really well executed, and I can only imagine the kind of training they all had to go through for that. But I think actually Jonathan Rhys-Meyers and Jamie Campbell-Bower came out, you know, on top of their training because they had to learn all this sword fighting and stuff from when Jonathan was on The Tudors, and Jamie also did the TV show Camelot, so there was a lot of sword fighting in there. So I think those two did it probably the best. Alec, holy crap. Kevin Zegers played Alec exactly how he was in the book, which I just, oh my god, I freaked out over that. It was so good. And that confrontation he had with Clary, wow, just wow. And the best thing I think that came out of this casting was the fact that Kevin played Alec the way he was supposed to in the book, where he didn't make his sexuality the main focus, which just, it was stunning. It was just so nice to watch, and that was definitely one of my top 5 scenes in the movie. With their casting, Simon. Seriously, could they have gotten anyone better than Robbie to play Simon? It was perfect. He was Simon, just in his mannerisms and the way he looked, just how he responded and played off of everybody. He was perfect, and I fell in love with him. He was so freaking cute. Oh my god, I love it, and I can't wait to see more of him in the next movie, because I feel like it's going to be City of Ashes, Simon's movie. Oh my gosh, the Sizzy interaction, it was wonderful. I mean, in the few scenes that they had together, you definitely get a sense of foreshadowing of their future relationship, but I fangirled so hard over this, and thank God there were like not that many people in the theater, because I know I would have been told to just shut up, because I was getting so excited during those scenes, and it was just so cute. And oh my god, I can't wait to see this come to life next time on this movie. It's gonna be great. That scene where the camera pans around and you see all the Silent Brothers standing with their swords, I actually yelled out in the theater, Jem, I know you're one of them! Come back! I started crying. Freaking Isabel. She was so perfect. She was brilliant and beautiful and intimidating and so kick-ass. I think she would be like the archetype of the character that we would want to be in real life. I mean, she was such a strong character, and I loved her. And Jemima was so perfect for the role. I mean, I don't think anyone could have done it as well as she did, and she looked like Isabel. The Malik stare. Oh my god. I know I said I had issues with Godfrey being Magnus, but when that stare came, oh my god, I felt the electricity, and it was hot. When he turned and said, the hot one, and he looked right at Alec and kind of smiled and like did a little winky, and then Alex kind of just looked a little stunned, and then he kind of smiled back. It was so awesome. Oh my god. I loved it. Did you guys love it? I loved it. So I think just because this was the first movie, there was bound to be a lot of mistakes and a lot of plot holes, especially since it was a beloved book first. But I honestly think that with the second one, because the world building is kind of out of the way now, I think it will actually be better with the second movie. And really, it can only go up from the mistakes it made in the first one. So I have faith in City of Ashes. I think if I wasn't a fan, I probably would have gone into this movie and really enjoyed it. But because I had read the books multiple times, it was too easy for me to kind of pick out the problems that the movie had. But I think now that I kind of know what to expect, I think if I were to go into the movies and watch it again, I think I would probably like it, just because I now have more of a fresh perspective, and now that I know what the mistakes are, I don't think they'll bother me a second time. Everybody thinks City of Ashes isn't going to be made just because the movie hasn't done as well as the studio probably thought, but let's remember Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Now, that movie wasn't faithful to the books at all, and it really didn't make all that much money either, but they still went ahead and made Sea of Monsters, and Sea of Monsters was just as crappy as the first movie. So if they can make those two crappy movies based on a book series, then we at least are going to get City of Ashes. And like I said before, I definitely think City of Ashes is going to be way better than City of Bones, because they made so many mistakes that they can only go up, and Percy Jackson didn't do that, but I definitely think City of Ashes will.